The Marvel Cinematic Universe has big plans for the future. 22 films have grossed about some $17 billion, which is more than any other franchise. It's been made generously clear over the last several months that the Marvel Cinematic Universe's third Spider-Man movie, informally known as Spider-Man 3, is forming up to be something unique. Who knows, maybe even the superheroes movie standards. Things are getting kicked up day by day, making fans more anxious. Why is the MCU Spider-Man 3 making a comeback of Alfred Molina's Doctor Octopus and Jamie Foxx's Electro? These are the questions that fortify in fans' brainbogs. Hey there, cinephiles! Here to look for the next best movies to watch or to know amazing things about your favorite movies? Well, then you are in the right place. Welcome to Pop Z, where you can find all the cinematic details you need. Today, we have our picks for the Doctor Ock is coming back. MCU confirms. But before that, make sure to drop a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn on post notifications. Make sure to stay till the end to know our take on your favorite movies. Spider-Man fans are even more anxious about the latest casting news that has all but confirmed a massive Marvel introduction. Alfred Molina's oft-rumored and now confirmed appearance as Doctor Octopus in the next Spider-Man movie. In Spider-Man 2, released in 2004, Molina enacted the character of tentacled scientist turned supervillain Dr. Otto Octavius, or Doctor Octopus. In that, he is the one who goes crazy after a failed experiment kills his wife and forever fuses 4 A1-powered mechanical tentacles into his body. The actor's performance on the screen was just marvelous. That was a standout in the film. It is considered one of the best superheroes that are ever made in the franchise. Following the news that Jamie Foxx will also perform as Electro, enthusiasts think that the Sinister Six will finally come together in a live-action film. This has caused excitement due to the fact that both characters appeared in Spider-Man films. About 16 years ago, Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus contracted Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker in the fight of a lifetime in Spider-Man 2. After Molina is reportedly set to reprise his character as Otto Octavius in the next MCU Spider-Man movie, even if Doc Ock's visible death in the film. Alfred Molina's Otto Octavius joined in Spider-Man 2 during a public demonstration with his fusion reactor that killed his wife, Rosie. With the inhibitor chip that protected him from the arms, Otto became shaky. Dr. Octopus stole cash to reconstruct his reactor and also battled with Spider-Man in the process. Though Otto was prepared to exert control over the arms in the end, he consecrated his life to halt the nuclear reaction from devastating New York City. In Spider-Man Far From Home, J.K. Simmons' return as the Strange editor, J. Jonah Jameson, is just shocking and was totally out of the blue. He appeared in the film as the owner of an alt-right news website, thedailybugle.net. He was the one who exposed Peter Parker's real identity in front of the world. He also accused him of murdering Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio. So, this leads us to the idea that Simmons will come back as Jameson in Spider-Man 3. There is a possibility that Alfred Molina may not be the same in Spider-Man 2. There may be a transformation in store in Spider-Man 3. It may sometimes be a similar version of the same style from either the primary MCU reality or another universe. Fans had just gone through this theory because the idea that Jamie Foxx had before said that unlike how his style was portrayed in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 would not be the same as his Electro in Spider-Man 3. So, it is confirmed that it will not be blue. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 has got a different critical reception, but Fox's show was enjoyed widely. No one in the universe still has an idea of how significant the role is going to be. Let's all not forget that although J.K. Simmons briefly reprised J. Jonah Jameson last year in Spider-Man Far From Home, it was the MCU's Jameson operating the Daily Bugle as a controversial news website. as opposed to the Jameson we saw in the Sam Raimi-helmed Spider-Man movies. So according to our speculations, Spider-Man 3 is all set to comprise the multiverse, and we hope that, or we are safe to assume, that Marvel aspires to make the most of that. We spectate that Marvel is not trying to return Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, but they desire a promoting cast and even crucial enemies. In the history of superhero movies, Molina's Doctor Octopus is still one of the most immeasurable villains. So now you must get why it is not surprising Marvel wants to see Molina reprise the character. In contrast, Fox never actually got a cast to Flash, so this is an opportunity to reform his most dangerous villain. So both these villains are actors who could conceivably have survived their apparent deaths. Dr. Octopus tried to destroy space-time in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Mike Costa and Robbie Thompson's Web Warrior series saw Electro learn to travel the multiverse in an energy form. So, they ought to have multiversal connections. So it all looks very fit. One can't be faulted for thinking that Spider-Man 3 will be a multiversal affair. After all, we've known since summer 2019 that the MCU is opening the doors to other realities through Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but with a master of the mystique arts, and now teaming up with a web slinger again, following their time together in Avengers, Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. It appears Spider-Man 3 will get the jump on this kind of action. Of course, it doesn't have to be just villains jumping in. Perhaps Holland's Spidey teaming up with a Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's version of Peter Parker is on the horizon. Collider is reporting that Andrew Garfield and Kirsten Dunst will be back as Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Mary Jane Watson. Collider claims that Maguire is in negotiations to return. Her pregnancy may determine Emma Stone's appearance as Gwen Stacy. However, no major Hollywood outlet has confirmed Collider's report at this time. Maybe in the comics, Octopus and Electro are the members of a group of supervillains named Sinister Six. Sony has a great interest in making the Sinister Six on the big screen. This gives an idea that MCU is exerting steps towards introducing several key villains like the Vulture, Mysterio the Shocker, and the Prowler. As we said, Mysterio is believed to be dead after Spider-Man Far From Home, but who knows? It may be a twist where he could well have faked his death. So if our guess is right, then Dr. Octopus and Electro can round out the MCU's Sinister Six. Tom Holland will be coming up with his role as Peter Parker in the new most awaited Spider-Man film. And what more is that? The first look at his character is released. An appearance of the villainous group may comprise roles from the world of Spider-Man. Seems more likely than ever following Molina's casting. It looks like Tom Holland's web crawler can't do superheroic stuff without mentors. Benedict Cumberbatch will mentor him in the third Spider-Man movie as the Sorcerer Supreme after Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark. Keep apart this movie. Cumberbatch will be returning in the second Doctor Strange film, Doctor Strange in Madness's Multiverse. This rumor must be considered with a grain of salt. The inclusion of these villains could further suggest the possibility of the multiverse inclusion in Spider-Man 3. It is actually unclear that if Molina is playing the rendering of the character seen in Spider-Man 2, his return should amaze die-hard Spidey fans. So the villains are piling up. Tom Hardy's Venom, who will be appearing after the massive success with his standalone film in 2018. Yes, the Scorpion is yet another villain to make matters worse. Even though it is unconfirmed, reports claim that Better Call Saul star Michael Mando play him. Then we came up to Morbius. Jared Leto will be playing the Spider-Man character in his film, the trailer of which surprisingly features Vulture, the villain played by Michael Keaton in Holland's first Spider movie. If all this becomes true, then this movie will become a vein of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, in which several Spidey people converge in Miles Morales' version of Earth. The system is more incredible than we think. Tom Holland's Peter Parker is no stranger in space, finding himself caught up in multiversal affairs. So it is still exciting to be seen how all of this will tie into Sony's Spider-Man spin-offs. So friends, Spider-Man 3 is set to swing into theaters on December 17th, 2021. So what do you feel about these updates? What do you think about the return of Alfred Molina's Doctor Octopus? We would love to know about it in the comment section below. So don't forget to pen down your thoughts. Stay tuned to Pop Z for more updates on its progress in MCU that has come to the big screen. Whatever be about that, we can assure you only one thing for sure, and Spider-Man 3 will be the most exciting to date. Adios till we see each other again.